Hi, and welcome back to Your Travel with Olivia. Thank you so much for joining me here again today. I know I haven't been here for a while, and I really have no excuses except life. This life just gets in the way. Anyways, what I want to talk to you about today is the truth about travel, because, well, we don't even know what that is anymore, right? I mean, out there, things are changing all the time, and I'm hearing stories upon stories, and that's what prompted me to come on and to talk to you today so that you become a little bit more aware of what's going on out there as far as travel goes. As you know, I'm here in Canada, Ontario, Canada, and of course our regulations and our government advisories are going to be a little bit different than maybe where you're watching from. But all I'm doing here is actually just prompting you to pay attention to all of your advisories. And that's because, well, even people that I know who have traveled to different parts, you know, all over Europe, all over the Caribbean, every day they're faced with different challenges when it does come to travel. And that's because, of course, you know, where they're traveling to, say, down to the Caribbean islands, some of them, not all of them, but some of them have, you still need to quarantine. You have to quarantine for 10 days or 14 days. And so, again, wherever you're traveling to, you're going to need to incorporate that into your plan of action when you're traveling. One of the things I also wanted to bring to your attention was, as you know, in my previous video that I did about a month ago, was my trip to the United States and back from there, and the COVID-19 test that I had to undergo and make sure that I did when I was going and when I was coming back. And one of the things that I mentioned in there is the importance of getting that PCR test. It clearly states that no other test would be accepted other than this PCR test. And when I put it out there, I got a lot of feedback from people who were saying to me, well, they have traveled and they got the antigen test and it was fine and they got through and they didn't have to pay that much for it, because the PCR test runs around the $200 mark, whereas the antigen test was anywhere from $50 to $90. And so a lot of people thought, hey, why wouldn't I take the cheaper option? That's because, according to the government, that was not the test that qualified, basically. And so I wanted to leave people to know that. And so, like I said, some people were putting out there that they had actually traveled and they didn't really need to do that. And you know what the penalty is if you don't do the PCR test? As I saw on the news this week, there are people who have been called out on not doing the correct test.
But after landing in Vancouver, Border Services told her the COVID test she'd taken wasn't valid.
They just told me that that test was unacceptable. They would only accept a PCR test.
She says she was fined at $5,700.
Yes, because it is your responsibility to make sure that you keep up to date with that government advisory, whatever that happens to be. Like I said, from wherever you're watching this, make sure that you check before you travel, because it is up to you to make sure that you are keeping on top of this. So that excuse that I didn't know, I wasn't aware, it just doesn't fly. And I really wanted to just put that out there. So for all of you who wrote in and said that you got away with it, then you are so lucky. But for all of you who have not traveled yet, don't take your chances. $200 versus $5,700.
The couple thought everything was in order for their return home. It wasn't.
I asked Walgreens for a PCR test, and apparently, according to the Health Canada, when we arrived back in Vancouver, the test was wrong.
Their combined fines, a whopping $11,500.
And especially for this other couple that were traveling together, that cost them $11,000 between the two of them. So those kind of things I just want to bring to your attention just so that you are aware. Another thing is people have been caught while they have actually left the country, and then they're on their way back, and the rules have changed. While they were away, they changed. Borders have been closed down or travel restrictions have been extended. Again, it is your responsibility, and they've heard it before in terms of all the excuses. And so they're really not prepared to listen to those. So yes, maybe you were able to travel in and out of your country before with whatever document that you had previously, be it a driver's license, a passport, citizenship, whatever it happened to be. But they may change the laws on that, and then again, it's up to you to make sure that all your documents are up to date. And may I add here that make sure when you are traveling with your passport that it is not going to expire within the next 6 months. That's what I wanted to jump on here and talk to you about, because I really want to make sure that when you are traveling the next time, it is safe, it is well organized, and you are well taken care of, because that's the nature of this channel here, bringing you up-to-date news in terms of travel. Again, if you really valued what I said here, please go ahead and put that in the comment section down below and let me know what you think. Maybe some situations that you have encountered, or if you have any questions. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if this is your first time visiting, consider subscribing, because I am here usually most of the time. It's just been like really hectic over the last month. It's summer and it's just been a bit crazy, but I'm usually here regularly, and I'm always here bringing you different news on travel. Until we meet again, adios, and have yourself a wonderful week and safe travels if you happen to be traveling. Bye-bye.